Lucky Lefty Podcast. Honora Boys in the building. We are brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. And ladies and gents, of course, after we get this big dub on Saturday night, you're sitting back, maybe watching a little Major League Baseball. Make sure, if you choose to drink, that you do it responsibly. Let's get it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. I am your boy, Sean Davis, SD2 Mics. Presented by Honora Whiskey, as always, HonoraWhiskey.com. Courtesy of Bleav Network, audio, edibles each and every day, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're presented by FanDuel, where currently Notre Dame sits as a 22.5 point favorite over at FanDuel. Go ahead and download that FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com. What's up, everybody, man? Hope you guys are having a great day. We're going to get into it. We're going to do predictions. So put your predictions, your score predictions. As you see, I'm rocking some of our merch, the Spin It Different hoodie. Go grab it, luckyleftypod.com. And Left might make it. He might not make it. LA traffic, some other things. It is what it is, man. We're going to jump in and talk about some things. So put those predictions in. We'll get to those. If you have a GTB question, put it in. All right? Because until Left shows up, you're my co-host. So come on, put it in. And then if you have a prediction, put it in. And then we're going to get X factors. X factors for the game. X factors for the game. Who's your X factor on offense? Who's your X factor on defense for this matchup? Who's your X factor on offense? Who's your X factor on defense for this matchup? Dave Doran leads his North Carolina State Wolfpack into South Bend, 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Like I said, Notre Dame's favorites, 22.5 points. Guys, ladies and gents, when I look at this, I just don't see it, right? I don't see it. And I don't see this being a proving game. And I said this on both networks, LL and IB this week. This game is a proving ground for CJ Bailey. This game is a proving ground for Hollywood Smothers, in my opinion. Like, I don't think Notre Dame is going to prove anything in this matchup with North Carolina State other than can the offense get back to the offensive production that they were used to prior to Boise State? Can they eliminate the silly mistakes? Now, I'm with you, fans. I'm with you. I absolutely believe and agree that last week they had one of the worst officiating crews that I've ever seen. Ever. One of the worst officiating crews that I've ever seen in a football game. College, high school, small fry, it doesn't make a difference what level. They were bad, inconsistent, awful, all day long. There were bad calls on both sides. Bad calls on both sides. I think it was more slanted to the Notre Dame side. But they definitely kept Boise State in that game, along with Notre Dame just missing wide open touchdown opportunities on fourth downs on 2 occasions. That should have been 14 points on the board without any question. Should have been points on the board. So then we're going to get, hopefully, to Malik's 3 keys as well. Brought to you by Honora Whiskey. It is amazing. It is amazing how we sit here. Notre Dame sits 3-2 on the season. And I want to know how you guys feel. I want to know how you guys feel. I got some recruiting updates for you too that we're going to get to. We got some visitors coming in this weekend. The USC visitors are stacking up. Carlos May, big defensive tackle, 6'4", 305 pounds, out of Birmingham. DJ Jacobs, a five-star defensive end, the 27 class, is going to be in this weekend. For him, that's his second game day visit. He was up for the Texas A&M visit. He told me, I guess, it's kind of out of the cat's out of the bag that I enjoy my time. I enjoy my time when I come to Notre Dame. Cat's out of the bag. So that's fantastic. Jalen Hill, big time 4-star defensive back, trending, man, heavily in the direction of the Fighting Irish. Zachary Bleav just picked up an offer. He is the backfield running mate for 2027 quarterback commit Teddy Gerard. It was pretty dope the way they gave him his offer. They practiced down in North Cobb High School. They practiced, and after the practice, of course, they huddle up to break. And I guess that was at the point in time that his head coach, along with the rest of the squad, Teddy Gerard, knew what was going on, informed him that he had received an offer from Notre Dame, and everybody got hyped. So he's a big kid, big kid. You watch this kid, nimble feet. He reminds me of Aldrich Estime. He really does. He reminds me of Aldrich Estime. So Albert, and this is a big time recruit, in my opinion, out of the state of Louisiana. Albert Simeon, interior offensive lineman. He's going to be on campus. He's looking forward to finding out more about the school. More about the school. He was offered for the Pot of Gold. He's really, I think he's ranked 32nd in the nation according to ESPN. He's right on the edge of being a 5-star. I talked to him a couple of days ago. I talked to him last night as well before he gets to South Bend. And he was just talking about how he wanted his entire family to come with him to Notre Dame. He wanted his entire family to come with him and make the trip to Notre Dame. And so with that being said, hey, they weren't able to get everything together during the spring because they were trying to coordinate a trip up during the spring for a practice. Never happened. Man, the Notre Dame coaching staff, they were relentless. They stayed on this young man. They stayed on him. And finally, a lot of people think he's an LSU lean, maybe even a Texas lean, but he just speaks about how Marcus Freeman, Carter Allman, and I'm drawing a blank right now, Joe Rudolph, have been very persistent and consistent with the communication with him, and everything kind of hit right with him and his family being able to come. And it's pretty dope. I think that says a lot. And I'm not sitting here saying that this young man is about to commit to Notre Dame or he has Notre Dame at the top of his list. But I think it says a lot that he wants his entire family, whom I'm sure that he values their opinions. He wants all of them. He didn't just want to take this trip by himself, along with a coach or along with one of his parents. He wanted his entire family to come and support and take in what Notre Dame has to offer and give him feedback. And so hopefully Notre Dame can make a big move in his recruitment. He's gotten to know, and he knows where he sits with the staff. He's gotten to know them. But now this trip is really about taking in the campus, the school, the program, the fans. I want to salute Notre Dame fans. I've talked to several 27 and 28 kids that have visited for home games. And for the first time, this is really the first time, I have heard for the first time consistently, no matter who the opponent is, that the stadium is loud and that the stadium is rocking. The stadium is loud and the stadium is rocking. That's huge, Notre Dame fans. Continue to do so. If you're in the building, make an impact on the future for the Fighting Irish program. because it matters. It matters for the game and the current team, and then it matters for those players that are thinking about joining the Fighting Irish program. Oh, appreciate you, man. That is Brian Hatton, my brother. We appreciate it. We got great merch coming. You see the Spin It Different with the ND in the middle. That's what we do right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast, LuckyLeftyPod.com. That's where you can grab it. I got it in black as well, hanging up over there. And I got Joe 773 batters. Congrats, LL, on the 5,000 subscribers. Hey man, we got it from the mud. We got it out the mud. One subscriber at a time, one show at a time. And we appreciate you guys. Joseph King, how about the Cubs? Hey, I watched the game last night. I actually fell asleep on the game. I went to sleep around the sixth inning. They were up 4-0. Yo, how about that NLDS, the Phillies? Philly had a rough night last night. Philadelphia fans. Notre Dame fans living in the Philly area that are also Philadelphia, Philly, and Eagles fans. That was a rough sports day. That's a rough sports day, right? But, I mean, your city, you've been doing it for a while. You've been winning championships, great teams. The Flyers are probably going to be good this year. The Eagles will probably be fine. But that was a great game. Crazy ending, but a great game. Albert Simeon, big moves can be made Notre Dame this weekend. Big moves can be made by Notre Dame. Before we move on, I want to make sure I cover all the recruiting up front, get it out the way. Amari Irvin, 4-star linebacker Amari Irvin. Now, this for me, he is visiting this weekend. He's an IMG kid. Now, Notre Dame getting an IMG kid is huge, right? I think Zach Fort was a safety that's committed to Georgia that Mike Mickens did an incredible job, man. That young man made 3 trips to Notre Dame. Very interested. And they were still trying to progress and make moves on him even while he was committed. And eventually he shut things down and stayed committed to Georgia. But IMG, that flow from that program really hasn't opened up. Jalen Wade, the quarterback, is somebody, if you listen to this show, you know Malik loves that kid, Jaden Wade. So, man, lock in with him. Notre Dame, Mike Denbrock likes him. Mike Denbrock likes the young man. Doesn't mean that he's coming to Notre Dame as a 28 quarterback, but Notre Dame definitely likes him. And Notre Dame is going to be recruiting that young man. The Amari Irvin story is amazing, right? And I think this young man has Notre Dame at the top of his recruiting. I really do. A 6 foot, 215-pound linebacker out of IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida. When he got his offer, we spoke. And he talked about even then the great relationship he has or that he had developed with Marcus Freeman and Max Bullock. Now, this was back in the spring. He said he loved, just having the conversations, whether it's football or regular conversations, how they just flow seamlessly. And he said he loves the way that Coach Max Bullock goes about coaching his players. So the thing he's going to be looking at is preparation for the linebackers. He loves the way the linebackers are used in the defense. But that, and then the atmosphere and the experience. Now, it's crazy because his family is very familiar, not only with the staff, but with the campus, the administration, and the game day. But I think there is something that we're going to see here. Irvin is the brother of Cedric Irvin Jr. and the son of Cedric Irvin Sr., and actually the cousin of Miami great Michael Irvin. But of course, if you know the story, Cedric Irvin Jr. was committed. He's a running back that's currently playing for the Stanford Cardinals. Cedric Irvin Jr. was committed and part of the 2023 class. Dylan McCullough comes in as the running back coach. And when he comes in, because Lance Taylor leaves, when he comes in, he looks at the guys that he has in the class, and there's a conversation. And in the midst of that conversation, there was a decision made to part ways with Cedric Irvin Jr. And at the time, I can remember saying, Ryan and I were doing the recruiting hour show. I remember saying, like, I don't like it, but I understand why. Because at the time, we really couldn't talk about it because we knew what was coming. But we understood why the decision was made, why the evaluation was made. But when a kid locks in with you and commits, that's just really, man. But it was just a changing of a guard where one coach looked at him, valued him a little bit higher, and another coach comes in and says, I think we need to go after player A. And so the funny thing is, not the funny thing, but of course, and I think this speaks to the integrity of the Urban family, especially if this young man ends up at Notre Dame. In the immediate aftermath, I'm sure there was some sore feelings on the Urban side. Well deserved for them to feel a certain way about how things played out. But somehow, some way, we sit here on the eve of the North Carolina State game with another young Irvin having Notre Dame high on his list of schools. Now, I think the fact that Cedric Irvin Jr. ended up at a place like Stanford speaks to how academics are viewed by this family. The fact that Notre Dame is one of his top schools definitely shows what they're looking for their young men. It's not all about football. But it also speaks to being able to deal with honesty. Like, sometimes you don't like honesty. You don't like to hear someone making a true evaluation and feeling like there's someone out there better than you or better than your son, better than your daughter, better than your brother, better than your sister, and they choose to move on. So as this story played out, Dylan McCullough closed the deal on Jeremiah Love. The spot opened up. Dylan McCullough went after Jeremiah Love, and he closed the deal on Jeremiah Love. Now, we knew that's who they were going after. And I said at the time, I didn't have a problem with the evaluation. It was a very easy evaluation to me. Cedric Irvin Jr., Jeremiah Love. All right. But now you're talking about, being integral and everything that you do and committing to your words. But the words didn't belong to Dylan McCullough. They belonged to someone else. However, Marcus Freeman was still there and took the commitment. The rest of the staff took the commitment. So it's just tricky. I think this entire situation, if it goes the way most believe that it's trending, I absolutely believe that this situation could lead to one of the great stories of how people should be able to handle the difficulties of recruiting. Because recruiting can have some things, some things can take place in recruiting that can hurt feelings, can be difficult to swallow. I never forget, man. The guy came in, sat with me and my parents at the kitchen table, and told me I wasn't a Power 5 D1 baseball prospect. And I was heated, laughed in his face, like, what? And he started mentioning the schools that he thought I could go to. And I'm sitting here looking at my stats. Like in my entire high school career, I struck out 2 times. And I'm looking at my stolen bases. I'm looking at my defense. I played center field. I played center field, left field, played first base, pitched. Like, dude, I had versatility. I could do everything. Great athlete. That was a tough pill to swallow because when they come to the high school level, they're looking at power. They're looking at guys that can hit home runs. And I had 1 home run in my entire high school career. And I remember just sitting there. And I remember he left. And my dad just said, all you need is an opportunity. You just need to find the opportunity. It doesn't matter where it's at. You just need an opportunity. And so just looking at, I'm not judging how Cedric Irvin Jr.'s career has played out at Stanford because that's a tough situation. He didn't go to the best situation. That's unfortunate, right? Because I'm not going to look at his production and say, well, see, Dylan McCullough made the right decision. I mean, we don't even have to discuss Cedric Irvin Jr. We can just look at the production that has been put on the field by Jeremiah Love. And it's easy to see that for Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love was the right decision for Notre Dame. That's easy to see. No one can debate that. But it's crazy that this young man is coming in with Notre Dame trending as his top school. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing because it tells the story of his dad, his mom, and the rest of the family really not having harsh feelings and really, what they value. What they value is education. What they value is honesty. And I keep telling people that Notre Dame, like it or not, they have one of the most honest operations. Go back to Trey Taylor's recruitment, right? And they were honest with him. He didn't particularly like it. He felt like he deserved an offer. He felt like he was one of the best quarterbacks in the 27 class. He felt like he was a fit for Notre Dame. He had a great relationship, played on the same 7-on-7 team with CJ CARR. The connection was there. But Notre Dame had a elongated process that went well into the summer before they offered 2 individuals. And in my opinion, you can't be mad. As much as I love Chicago area kids, I can't be mad because Teddy Gerard and Peyton Houston are literally the top 2 ranked quarterbacks in the 2027 cycle. The top 2. So Notre Dame made the right decision. You might not have liked the process, but eventually they made the right decision. And that's how recruiting goes. That's how recruiting goes. You're not always going to like the process, and it gets tough sometimes, but you want your school to make the right decision, and Notre Dame has been able to do that. So excited about hearing feedback from Amari Irvin on this trip, and I'm looking forward to it. DJ Jacobs, like I said, that's huge. Getting that young man 5-star defensive lineman, getting him back on campus, that's a huge get. A huge get for the Fighting Irish. All right. So that's it. Let's get to a GTB question, a super chat. Thank you guys for helping me co-host today. Gavin, thank you for the super chat. Sup, LL Nation. What would it say about Notre Dame's defense if they keep NC State to 20 points or less? Thanks again for the phenomenal podcast. We appreciate you, Gavin. Let me tell you something. They have held the previous 2 opponents underneath what they average in yardage and points. Like I said, it wouldn't prove anything to me. It really wouldn't. Let me tell you why. Dave Doran and this team, in my opinion, don't have what it takes to create a style of game to really give Notre Dame a problem. And this is why I was so focused on the Boise State game. It wasn't North Carolina State's more talented, specifically offensively, to challenge a defense that Notre Dame is still, I think, kind of working itself into shape and kind of creating their identity, their 2025 identity, right? It's a Notre Dame defense, but every year has a different identity. And so 20 points or less would be impressive, but I don't think I would be shocked by that. Because I think really the Notre Dame team that we're watching evolve is not going to be impacted by a team that can just go out there and score. Notre Dame will decide moving forward. Notre Dame will decide what type of game every Saturday is. It's not about the opponent. If a C plus Notre Dame steps on the field, they beat North Carolina State. If a B level Notre Dame steps out on the field, they might cover with a B game. If Notre Dame plays an A game against North Carolina State, they might put up 60 points and shut them down to less than 20. This game is going to be decided by which type of Notre Dame team shows up on Saturday. Notre Dame they would probably tell you they played a C plus game against Boise State. They would probably tell you that. Collectively, C plus, B minus. They covered. They didn't score as many points, but they held them to 7 points, 4 sacks, 4 interceptions. Man, tackled well, had Maddox Matson running for his life for 4 quarters. And that's playing a B minus C plus game. They have better. So, Gavin, if they play better, I could definitely see it because, I mean, it's all about the way they play. And I don't know if that would impress me. I would kind of say, okay, that's kind of what I expected. That's kind of what I expected. But based upon the way they played the first 2.5 games, it's kind of like this seesaw in the minds of Notre Dame fans where we're trying to figure out, hey, which defense is going to show up, right? Because we have 2.5 games of really good Notre Dame defense and 2.5 games of a defense that we're not used to at Notre Dame. But Gavin, once again, thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate you. My boy Joe, 773. Who's the hottest Chicago recruit for 27 and 28 that ND is in on or should be on? SD. Oh, that's easy. For 27 is Quinn Burrell. Quinn Burrell. He's the must get because he's at a must get position, which is wide receiver. He's a must get in the 27 class. I would slightly put him ahead of Braden Parks. Slightly. 28, it's a trio, all on the defensive line. And I love Marshawn Thornton, Quinn Burrell's running buddy at wide receiver at Mount Carmel. Absolutely love the kid. He visited last weekend, had an amazing time on his visit. Caleb Tucker, 335-pound defensive tackle, who is a man-child. He's actually visiting Illinois this weekend. I think he's going to be getting up. I think he might be trying to get up for the USC game to Notre Dame. But he's visiting Illinois this weekend. They play Joliet Catholic tonight out in Joliet, and I'm not making that trip. I told all the Mount Carmel guys, I'll see you guys next weekend back at home. But Caleb Tucker is a trio, guys. Darian Prescott, who plays for Bolingbrook, 5-star defensive end, top 30 kid. And then Cameron McGee out of Chicago, Brother Rice, 5-star defensive end, another top 30 kid. All three of those guys, high. Caleb Tucker's like a high 4-star, and then you have 2 5-star defensive ends out of Chicago. I think Cameron McGee and Darian Prescott both. Notre Dame got on both of those guys early. They both are starting to pick up steam. I know Tennessee and Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken, just offered both. I think Miami just offered Cameron McGee. So, and I was told by someone close to the Tucker and Cameron McGee situations that there's no way, not my words, their words, there's no way that Notre Dame should not get a big-time player out of Chicago coming from a Chicago Catholic school. The transition, it just makes too much sense. There's no way they shouldn't have the pick of the litter when it comes to schools like Loyola Academy. Jordan McKinley's another big-time receiver out of Illinois that's made 5 trips to Notre Dame already. Loves to fight in Irish. He's a big-time receiver in the 28 class. Prescott, he's out in the suburbs. But when you talk about Caleb Tucker, Cameron McGee, and Marshawn Thornton, if that's someone they want, there's no way Notre Dame should miss out on those guys. No way they should miss out on those guys. Kevin Keeley. Sean, love the Lucky Lefty podcast. As an NC resident, this is a game the Irish need to win. Dave Dorn is a tough guy, and I think the game will be tougher than the Vegas Gurus think. Virginia Tech ran the ball for 247 yards against this defense. 247 yards. Kevin, I feel you. You have those vibes. I understand. Hollywood Smothers is coming in. Second most yards in the country. Second most yards rushing after contact. It's a problem. CJ Bailey. It's a problem. Justin Jolie, young tight end, can make some plays. It's a problem. Terrell Anderson, big play wide receiver. That's a problem. Hollywood Smothers is forced 32 missed tackles. 32 forced missed tackles. You say all of that. Even on the defensive line, they are 29th in the nation at 1.2 yards given up before contact. That means their defensive line is doing a good job of setting or resetting the offensive line. That's 1.2 yards before they make contact with rushers. That's pretty good. 29th in the nation. You say to yourself, that's a pretty good defensive line. Kevin, here's where it starts to fall off a cliff. They have a 16% missed tackle rate. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot make this up. They miss on 16% of their tackles. That's crazy. That means 1 out of 6, just a little bit over 1 out of 6 tackles, the North Carolina State defense is missing. That's not good. Getting ready to face Jadarian Price and Jeremiah Love. 1 out of 6 tackles are missed tackles? That's crazy. Needless to say, they are last in the nation because of that rate. Last in missed tackles. And their loss to Virginia Tech, a team that was reeling, a team who had just fired their coach, a team that had little to play for, no culture. It's almost as bad as Penn State facing a team with a new coach, new OC, 2 days to prepare, and they go out there and lose to UCLA. That's equal to what North Carolina State did when they went up against Virginia Tech. Same situation. Virginia Tech ran the ball for 247 yards on the ground, people. 247. So, Kevin, I understand. I promise you, I understand how you feel. I understand how you say to yourself, like Dave Dorn, been there a long time, tough-minded coach. He can have these guys ready to play. Guess what? Dave Dorn doesn't have the horses, particularly on the defensive side of the ball. The last time Dave Dorn came in here and had the horses in 2017, he had the horses, and they still got smacked by Notre Dame. He's coming in this time, and he does not have the horses on defense. And the strength of their offense is the run game. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker, because let's look at the stats. They're averaging 29.4 points a game, which goes back to our GTB question, right? Goes back to our GTB question. Would I be shocked? No, because the trend and where this Notre Dame defense is trending, they're keeping teams 10 points underneath what they score. That would put North Carolina State right at 19, 20 points. As talented as they are on offense, they're only averaging 29.4 points a game. That's not going to get it done. Notre Dame played a C-plus game last week and put up 28. Come on. Let's really think about this. This team is averaging 29.4. Notre Dame played a subpar offensive game to their standard and put up 28 last week. Dave Dorn just doesn't, he's bringing a pin to a gunfight. They just don't have it. Yards per game, 415. So if they get 300, 315, that's right on par with what this Notre Dame defense is doing right now currently. Let's go to the Russian attack. They're averaging 4.2 yards per rush. 4.2 yards per rush. Since week 2, Jeremiah Love has 411 yards rushing in the last 3 games. And they're both, him and Jadarian are both up over 5.5 per pop. So I'm trying to give you peak North Carolina State, peak what they do at their best, just can't measure up on either side of the ball, right? They're great in the front 4 defensively, but they can't bring anybody down. They get gashed by Virginia Tech. That's what they're trending to. They really didn't play anybody last week, but they still struggled. You heard Ken Gibbs say yesterday, how many times did I have to watch this team on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 11, give up long runs to convert 3rd downs to the Camels? So that's where they're trending defensively. So I understand the narrative and just feeling like, yeah, you're right, Kevin. There ain't no Bradley Chubb is walking in that building, man. And they smacked Bradley Chubb and that crew. Anything can happen. It's football. Anything can happen. I just don't. Too much would have to go right. The ball would have to bounce their way. You're talking about CJ CARR having an awful game, a pick 6, snafus. I tell you this, not this week, but at some point when it gets cold and things start to slow down a little bit, I need the kicking situation to be healthier. I need the place kicking situation to be consistent and healthy. I need Burnett to be locked in because what's behind him, I'm just not comfortable with it. But other than that, yeah. But I think the key to this game for me, we talked about where Notre Dame has improved immensely. They're like into the 50s, pretty much in most defensive metrics. And that's just over the last 2 weeks or last 3 games, pardon me. But what they're doing offensively, man, ninth in the nation in points per game, 17th in the nation in yardage per game. This is with a redshirt freshman quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, somebody, like they say in the church. Come on, somebody, testify up in here. Man, yards per play, 7.3. That's 7th in the nation. Points per play, 0.639. 5th in the nation. Mike Denbrock told you last year he was going to build that top 5 offense. He told you. They're not there yet, but he told you it was coming. Their third down conversion is 15th in the nation at 51%. With a youngster that's only getting better. Now, I do want to see the red zone scoring percentage go up. It's only 90.48%. That's 42nd in the nation. And it goes to the short yardage stuff, right? Hedron Young, his injury. What's up, Roosevelt? Man, good to see my boy Roosevelt. Good to see my boy Roosevelt. Man, you guys keep it going. Thank you for smacking Florida State the way you did. Man, and I hope that Mario Cristobal doesn't choke late in the season like he normally does. It's almost like you're just waiting for it to happen. You're just waiting for it to happen. The red zone is troublesome, man. It just really is. Red zone is troublesome. And you know what? Let's take a listen to Jeremiah Love. Because Jeremiah Love was asked about it. And this is what he had to say. He was asked about the Wildcat. And this is what he had to say.
I like it. You know, the defense obviously knows that I'm probably getting the ball, so get a lot of attention on that play. But the fact that coaches are trying to get the ball in just running back room hands more. I love that a lot. I want to see me, my guys, make explosive plays, and what better way to get the ball directly. Attempt to make it explosive. But yeah, like to play a lot. Hope to expand on it, and yeah, just gonna keep executing.
Obviously, there's momentum building for the team after 3 straight wins. What's kind of like the line between gaining more and more confidence as a team, but also staying hungry, which is probably what led to you guys getting 3 straight wins?
I would say our confidence has always been high. We haven't lost confidence in ourselves. We know what type of team we are. We know that we're a great team. We've got an explosive offense, a great defense, a great special teams unit as well. But we just focus on the weeks, week by week, take it, as if we're 0-0 every week and we're trying to get 1-0 at the end of the week. But our confidence is really, really high. As we go through the season, we're going to keep believing in ourselves and staying together, make sure we're doing the right things on and off the field so that, we can stay that way. But yeah, we got all the confidence in the world, all the talent in the world, and best coaches in college. So, we're just going out there and just play our game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that Jeremiah Love was raised right. And most young men in Notre Dame do it the right way, especially when it comes to the media. Um, the design of the play, I think we have it. We can break it down. We can break it down. Um, yeah, here it is. I mean, the design of the play is actually not bad, right? And I said this and got criticized by people. I understood it's easy to say Jeremiah Love should have bounced it outside. I agree. But Marcus Freeman said when we ran this all week, you run it to go to a specific place, a specific hole. Jeremiah Love ran it the way they had run it all week to go to that specific hole. And like Marcus Freeman said, they just had more people in the hole than could be blocked. Like he's going to where, yo, there, right there, that picture right there, you're saying to yourself, man, that's open. But if you roll it back, and this is where I want people to understand. What's good, Left?
We're here. We're here, just kids.
I understand, bro. You know I understand. Well, it's been a long time since I've had to understand in that way, but
Right,
I
they get older.
understand.
Yeah, when they get older, you're good.
Watch Eli Raridan on this play. He doesn't stay on his block. I think he's supposed to work. I'm thinking he's supposed to work up to that linebacker.
Just
That's
don't
what
get
I'm thinking.
just don't get a strong enough push. You know,
Don't push, and he's supposed to work up to that linebacker and get that linebacker because you can see him reaching for him when he comes through. He's reaching for him, and he just misses him, man. And like, it's easy to say, yeah, Jeremiah Love should have just bounced it to the outside.
No.
Like Marcus Freeman said, he was expecting it to go the way they ran it all week inside that gap. And by the time he gets to the gap, it's two guys in the gap instead of just having one person he can run over.
CJ's not going to feel inside, you know, so him pulling is like. Now, if CJ filled inside, if he was just Riley Leonard or something, he could make up for the mistake because it'd just be another body added. Get Love some space to get inside, but goes back to why would we ever want to do that, you know?
Yeah.
CJ potentially made it, but you're not asking him to do that. It just would have been something natural if that was something that was in his repertoire. Not being there, but like, I mean, come on, if you gonna pull, hit something. You know what I mean? That's the rule of football. If you gonna pull, hit something. But I'm not. We shouldn't be asking him to do that on the 1 yard line. That's the main point. I mean, if we want to be that slick, just do Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price, just wildcat it. Take CJ off the field. It's not like it's the 1 yard line. So us subbing CJ out is not alerting the defense any different because we're on the 1 yard line. So it's like, okay, it's just an extra problem. You got Jeremiah Love and Jadarian on the 1. CJ is not in. So, you know, you got to handle 2 of these guys at one time. We don't know who's getting the ball. And then we know that either one can throw. I mean, Jeremiah Love's been throwing lead blocks all last year, so he can do it. He can do it. But that's a better scenario. I would just say personnel switch. Don't even – why? Why be cute and do the little jump switch like we going to fool somebody? It's the 1 yard line. Why are we trying – if we do that, we should direct snap it and then jump past it to see. I mean, Jeremiah Love's got to throw it if you're going to be that cute. But overall, really happy with what we can correct now and hopefully not make the mistake of next time. But, you know, you don't want to overanalyze a bad play call. I just think it's a bad play call.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So it is one of those things left where I think tomorrow is going to be another game where there won't be much resistance. From a defense. And I'm going to be watching Mike Denbrock to see if he can just avoid
getting bored.
Getting too cute. Yes. Can he avoid getting cute?
At the worst times. It's like, no, It would be nice to go 2 scores up. Don't do it when we 1 score game still in the balance. No, do it when you're 45 and 46 up. Like, that's one of those games where it's us versus us. You don't want to be your biggest opponent.
Yeah.
Do do things by the book. No, do it what you know how to. Let's get home. It's not the circus. Let's not invent the wheel. Show people we can get really cute. I mean, that's just not. I just don't think that's where we need to be. Where we're headed. I think we're headed in a solid way. So
I think to say the least. Well, now it's time to get to Malik's Three Keys, brought to you by Nora Whiskey and NoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey, NoraWhiskey.com. These are Malik's three keys to victory.
I think the first key when you talk about this game is controlling the environment. We should be leading this game in the first quarter by at least 10 points. That way we can control the environment. We want to use this game to get our young guys in, get them some experience, because we still need to build that 1B aspect when you're getting deeper into the season, into the playoffs. I want to see a little Kenny. I want to see a little of the second team and third team guys. That's Sevillano, your D-line backups in a sense. Get some experience in the fourth quarter. So it starts with us leading by two scores in the first quarter. The second point, I would definitely point to special teams. If we're pulling off trick plays away, I think we need to build some more of our strategic strategies in the game as well. Because like you said, it's going to be there, even if they expect it. We just need to be able to have things that we can run efficiently for when we do need it later in the playoffs. Even if we put on film now, it's early enough. So maybe we can expand on maybe getting a punt return touchdown, another punt kick trick play, maybe something in the kickoff game, maybe a surprise onside, just to really take the wind out of the other team early, because they already, woeing and thinking about what they have to deal with offensively. Special teams is the least of their worries, I'm sure, on a priority list. But let that be a phase of the game where we're giving them something challenging as well. I just for our own sake, I don't think, like you said, this is a game of us worrying so much about what we're going against. We're going to get what we need. So, I mean, we need to be sure of that. And then the last point is that this isn't a playoff team. Let's not go in here thinking this is the big, bad, upsetting team, the type of boogeyman we made Arkansas to be. Maybe that's what we use for motivation, but that's not where I think our level of expectation should be for this game. We should be playing to the standard. So we got to be in the 56 range. I think that's obviously, I think we'll win the game, but a key to a victory with style is scoring 56 points. I think that helps galvanize just the college football rhetoric that we definitely deserve to be in the playoffs, and it's just a matter of time.
Man, look. My boy Joe773 says, Sean, they got a Maxwell Polish down here in Atlanta in the hood on Campbellton Road. You tell me whether or not, hey, Joe, you have to tell me whether or not it's legit. Because there's a lot of fraud Chicago spots around this country. Malik used to talk about a lot of them down in Arizona. So it's a lot of fraud Chicago.
Made in Chicago on the side of the truck. What you mean?
What does that mean? So if you see somebody, so every kid that has a shirt that says a kid from Chicago, that means they're from Chicago.
They even put the EST. When they put the EST, it's legit. Established in this date. Come on, what we? I can't get more legit than that.
Oh man, those are Malik's three keys, brought to you by Nora Whiskey. Hey, let's talk about something that needs to improve, that CJ has struggled with, his timing and ball placement a little bit the last two games, particularly down the field. And let's go to the fourth quarter. Notre Dame's up 28-7. And you can explain this look and then just talk about when you say timing, just break it down. Because you could watch this and say, man, the timing looks good, but what causes this to be a miss opportunity for the Notre Dame offense and CJ CARR?
Okay. Well, we're going to run it. Then Brock on this down particularly does a good job giving him a man zone read with the motion. Now it looks like it's a full field read. You got your quick out. You got your tight end doing a corner, I'm assuming. Got an over type and a post. This looks like a quarter coverage. And with that, they look like they've doubled the post because usually the quarter coverage is playing at 10 yards. But he seems to take the high instead of taking a low defender because, he takes the high considering the outside corner has leverage and you can run a post all day, as you can see. So they end up doubling it and then playing the strength. So you keep rolling. Yeah, so you keep rolling. He takes the shot, does a great job of getting behind guys. First of all, that's really fast. when
Yo,
you
because you
pause,
looked at it, you saw that they had him. It looked like they had him, right?
yeah, it looked like you paused it right there. I was like, oh,
right
okay,
there. Like that
pre-snap.
Michael Gilbert has a little get up to him.
Yeah, he popped because I'm thinking like, okay, pre-snap, I'm taking his first step. I'm not loving it, but the way he can get behind guys, I know you got leverage because the corner's outside and they're trying to double it, but the safety's just too slow. So in this case, if I'm CJ, I'm not looking for Micah Gilbert to be open. I just know he's open. The main thing is in this play specifically because this looks like a pure progression, meaning he starts left and just works right, and he's alerted to the post being the backside if given quarters. So if you're quarterbacking, I'm keying the free safety, which is the opposite safety pre-snap. If that guy doesn't do anything, if he does anything but move to the middle of the field and he stays at 10 yards like he is in this play, I'm thinking I can just throw it anywhere behind him. I don't have to look for him to be open because if I'm throwing it over the near side safety, there's nobody there. And if he's this fast, I'm loving it. If I'm CJ, I'm just staying right down the hash. As you can see in this still, his shoulders are right down the hash. What he did wrong was he peaked for him because he didn't trust the timing. If you go back, this is all about playing on time. It's too slow. It's too slow. His
ball should be gone right now.
He's too slow because he's reading the play with his eyes. You have to time your eyes to your feet. You don't see things open. You get your feet to things that are open with time. Pre-snap tells me that he was thinking post from the jump. And this other thing attribute about CJ, he's thinking long before short ever. If he doesn't have a Malik ZAIRE arm or Patrick Mahomes arm, he doesn't have the luxury of just walking back, letting the play develop like he's a spectator. He needs to be thinking, how far can I throw it and how fast can he get under it? Instead of it being like, I'm going to wait till he gets open and launch it. Because one, if you're waiting for it to be open because he's moving so slow in his drop, he's thinking, oh, I got to put some arm on it. So he throws it upfield and with air instead of timing where it keeps Micah Gilbert running away from defenders, right? You want to throw it to green space. So that's the one thing he'll learn is that, dude, the thing happens real fast. Clearly, I'm watching it and didn't think it was as fast as it happened, which tells you in real time you need to let that ball go early. So pre-snap, I believe he probably keyed and wanted the post. But if that's the case, he needs to beat the throw with his feet. Stop falling in love with how nice you're about to throw the football because you guessed it right, it's right, and you've fallen in love with your drop. Don't wait for it to be open. You knew pre-snap it was going to be there. Speed your feet up. So if we start over, to help him, I would say either give a better play fake if you're going to be that slow. So that way you can cut down on your steps. Or you give a quick play fake like this. I would just, hey, hold it a little longer if you're going to be taking your time, right? But in this case, I would say quick fake, the quickest three, get your feet set and launch it. It should stay right down the hash. Now, in this view, I'm guessing you're going to see him peak. You see him peak. So that last, at the top of his drop, he had a quick set. That quick set was to see where he was at, and you can tell his shoulders aren't staying right down the hash. If it's staying right down the hash, it can be, I don't even have the pointer. Look, I'm over here thinking I got the telestrator. But you see how his shoulder is looking for the receiver? He's looking to throw him open, which 99% of the time means you're going to throw him upfield because you're staring at him. It's like one of those optical illusions. Like you just think if you are watching him beat a guy, is usually out of your peripheral, so you think you got to throw it upfield because you don't know what's on the other side. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said pre-snap, and even in his first step after he catches a snap, he needs to be keying the opposite safety. That way, you can confirm the post, keep your shoulder down the hash, and now you don't have to throw it upfield because you don't want to throw it too far because you can't see it. That's why you're not peeking for it. You're throwing it to a spot because he's going to run in the view. Don't throw it by staring at him. Anytime you're staring at him, it's going to be behind him. It's going to be too far upfield because of the way your body is turned and your peripherals at him. If you're looking ahead, it would be a dime and he can catch it on the run. Because you can throw it ahead because you're like, oh, that safety's flat-footed. He has no chance if I throw it over his head and everybody's chasing him. Everybody's just chasing him. Now he uses speed, run away from guys instead of running upfield. He should be running, if you pause it, he should be running to the hash or to the what is in this picture, the right goalpost. CJ should be launching that thing down the hash or to the right goalpost. Instead of upfield, it's so hard for a receiver to go from a post angle to a vertical angle because you lose the ball. He keeps them going across the field. The safety and the corner may run into each other. You know, you got to throw it over. This is what throwing it over people's heads is. You got to, but that comes from feet, and you can't fall in love by trying to find it with your eyes because it's going to make you move slower in the pocket. So that's why feet and timing are more important, especially when you can confirm it pre-snap. That's like the cheat code. You know the answer to the key for a big play. Nobody else does because you know that'll come in time, but knowing that, forget the read. This is why I'm saying this is a pre-snap alert. Forget the read. You only are staring at the free safety because to make sure he doesn't run post safety because that's a pick every time. In a quarters, if he's flat and I confirm it as a free safety, I already know there's nothing behind him. And we're going to see a 4-4 guy. He didn't have to be Malachi Fields where it's jump ball. No, this is your 4-4 guy. This is where you throw with timing. But that's, you know, what you know, habits you learn when you get there.
The most impressive thing about this is Michael Gilbert's speed, bro.
Oh,
at
absolutely.
At his size. It's like,
if
okay.
CJ uses the fake for the safety, he can just take a shuffle slide because he's so fast. He can just fake, look at the opposite safety, shuffle slide is over with. I'm literally throwing it down the hash. I don't have to look for him. I just know he's going to be there. So when they talk about he's super smart, but does he have the timing? But that comes with experience. You know, I'm not expecting him to, if he's doing that day one, then yeah, he should be winning the Heisman tomorrow. But this is a common thing that guys do. Now, that's how you get the completion. And in future hindsight, what you can do to get better. But in this, he did, this is what doing 80% of the job right as a quarterback. He understood the coverage. He held his safety. He went to the right pre-snap. You can't be mad. Happens to be a big play. That last 20% is all detail. Stay down the hash. Don't chase him with your eyes. Speed your feet up. Unless you got one of them Joe Milton, Patrick Mahomes, Everett Golson, Malik Zaire arms. Even then, if you go to my clip where I throw Will all these go routes, I'm moving fast. I'm not walking back. That's what I hate watching with quarterbacks. Like, who do you guys think you are? You're not. It's like.
So what do you mean walking back? Like,
it's fake.
Do you want me to roll it slow mo, or you want me to just roll it?
It's already slow. You just roll it regular.
You so crazy, man.
We just said Micah Gilbert is fast as hell, right? It's go too slow. In the NFL, for example, even is leaving. In this still picture, he's already ahead of him. It's too slow. That's how you coach the kid. This still picture, you're holding the football and he's already past him. You don't have the arm for that, but not many do.
Mm-hmm.
However, how you get better is keep your eyes in the right place and get there with urgency, especially when you got these type of kids. Now, if you got a Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Malik Zaire, Everett Golson arm, you can afford a little bit of time, but that's you're chucking it 70 yards down the field. Even the best of the best, chucking it anything past 22 to 18 yards is highly unlikely you'll complete it unless you're getting paid $500 million. If you're getting paid $500 million, then yes, you can afford to take 70-yard shots. I took my 70-yard shot. I got to play the show. But that still comes with time. So he'll complete more the faster he moves. Remember, the 18 to 22 yards is the sweet spot. He took too long to get to it, and that's why the play resulted in what it is, only because I don't necessarily think he has a cannon of an arm. Not saying it's not good, not saying he can't throw good deep balls, but I got a John Elway freaking hose on me where I can just throw it in the sky, Even with that, it's still about anticipation, throwing the spots. It's like old school training. CJ CARR is the definition of one of those 707 quarterbacks. It's the highlights, the head tops, the blurs, all of that. But, old school Kurt Warner, Drew Brees, we throwing the spots, letting dudes be our athletes. It's just too hard to do it this way unless you got Jeremiah Smith. If you got Jeremiah Smith, then throw it like this. Because that's all it is. You just want to give chances. You know what I'm saying? If you reading the defense, you throwing touchdowns. If you like it and giving chances and you want everybody to say, oh, look at that ball going all the way down the field, then this is what you do. And that's not a dig. It's just the truth. NFL guys, we throwing that thing down the hash. You catching it in stride. It's a 60-yard turn into a touchdown, not a opportunity. Because I'm telling you, it's just too hard, man.
All right. What's your clean sheet? How's Notre Dame going to go at North Carolina State early?
This play on 3rd and short, same play, just hit it this time. I just want to see us be Kevin Durant efficient, like a nice 21 to 24, just on and off the field. I really just want to see if we can get to our second and third cruise to give them some experience before the end of the game. So whatever we got to do to get there, hopefully it's efficiency, getting guys off the field on 3rd down, but also being able to cash in on turnovers and momentum off of special teams plays and no cute stuff. Because I mean, we'll have 2 or 3 drives in a game where we kill it off of doing cute stuff, especially short yardage. So we can just eliminate that only because we can and we don't need to do it. Like, nobody's begging for creativity when it comes to this team right now. Creativity? What? I just want to see guys touch the football. Whatever 0, 2, 24, 4, and maybe 9 sometimes touch the ball in the drive. That's all we're looking for. Oh, and 6. If they touch the ball in a particular drive, I feel like that's all we need to do. We don't need to find ways to get them the football. Just get them the football. I think I'm mute.
My bad, bro. Lucky Lefty podcast. You let people talk. My father told me, you let people talk long enough, they reveal who they really are to you. All the truth for their heart starts coming out, because out of the abundance of the heart. That's why God says he looks inward, to inward. Who knows what lurks on the inward part of man? They show you a lot on the exterior, but eventually their heart will start to come out. I think we're starting to see the heart of this Notre Dame team come out. I really do. I really do. I think a lot of people looked at the first 2 games and they kind of said to themselves, man, something's different. I think Christian Gray talked about it, right? I think Christian Gray said we finally are like being ourselves. We're finally back to being ourselves. And I think that was always there. And I think they had to kind of find themselves in this new structure under Chris Ash, right? There's a little bit of doubt, probably a little bit of pushback, probably a little bit of lack of understanding, paralyzed by the fact that, oh man, I'm trying to figure out what we're doing pre-snap, where we're going. But I think now, week after week, you're starting to see like what this Notre Dame defense really is at heart. And that's not to say what they're going to do against the North Carolina State offense tomorrow. But at the end of the day, I think at the heart, this is still a talented Notre Dame defense. I'll still say it's the most talented team I believe Notre Dame's had. Just 1 through 100, 1 through 85? Marcus Freeman's most talented team. 1 through 85. The quarterback is more talented than the quarterback from last year.
More fitting for what we're asking for.
Well, I think they both fit what they were being asked to do, right? Like Riley wasn't asked to do, especially after Northern Illinois, Riley wasn't really asked to do a lot. Not in the passing game.
Yeah, that didn't fit what we needed, though.
No, I'm not talking about what we needed to do. I'm talking about what they had to do. He did what they had to do. Oh, yeah, they did. Because he couldn't complete. No, he couldn't do what was needed in the passing game. He couldn't.
We forced ourselves to do. We could have went with Steve.
No. He forced to do. Northern Illinois, in the tape he put out there, in the practices, forced them to say, all right, we just need.
Should have went to Steve. We did that to ourselves. We should have went to Steve. Steve had 1,000 yards in 2.5 games. Man, I know he's upset he got hurt, but he probably really upset he didn't get to come back and do it to Notre Dame. So I'm just saying. But this time with CJ, he's a great fit for exactly what we need to get a championship. Me and you both knew where we were limited when it came to even playing against Ohio State, but now we're geared to, I think, compete point-wise with an Ohio State. Defensively, can we get the last, take him to the last possession? I think this is a year that's more fitting for that. I don't think we could have went last possession with him last year. We just didn't have enough to score. I think we have enough to score, provided we don't give our stars the ball criminally and giving it to him like 2 times. But I like, you can tell even that the fandom and not just Notre Dame, but college football fandom recognizes the powerhouse between what Julian Sayin has offensively and what CJ Carr has, to where they're even comparing the two. They wasn't comparing Will Howard to Riley. I mean, probably skill set wise, but not powerhouse offense.
That's
So,
funny, bro.
So I do think that we're in a conversation that can have the offense to win it. Defensively, I mean, we've held a top 5 offense to 13 points at the time. We've decimated them since. I mean, they probably gonna be in the bottom 100. See, that's the difference. We started at 135 or whatever the lowest number you can be, and have risen like the Jesus on the third day through the charts, like a Drake song. Through the history books like LeBron James, and have found ourselves landing in the 50s in just 5 weeks. In just 5 weeks, meteoric rise. Whereas these teams that quote unquote are so talented, your Texas A&M offense and your Arkansas offense that seem to be hot, but they tend to be dropping down them rankings. The stock is down over at Texas A&M. Now they, hitting Marshall Reed with the he can't throw label all of a sudden. He threw fine against us. Matter of fact, no game with against us, but all of a sudden this brother can't throw for nothing. But yet we seem to rise through the rankings. And let's be honest, we can all understand that when you play teams that aren't that good, it gives you a little bit more confidence. You can settle in a little bit easier. When you're like, okay, it's a challenge, but okay, we can fill our identity out once we start seeing some different levels of competition. It's one thing about going against your brother your age, and then it's against your brother that's older than you. You know a little bit more. But a brother your age, you're like, okay, we got it. I'm on it. All right, you feeling yourself a little bit. You can get off to some of the moves you couldn't get off. But older brother, you got to come correct.
Man.
So we've been playing some little brothers, some our age a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in full control of the house. They can't go in the refrigerator unless they ask us. That's how we're going about college football right now. You can't go in that refrigerator for nothing unless I get it first.
Yeah.
That's how we have to treat these teams, like little brothers.
Yeah. You mean like this play here? We're gonna break this down. Look, bro, this play, I don't even know. It's like I was laughing, bro. Because first of all, I've seen this, no lie. What you're about to see, this combination of jump cut and this, I've seen him do this on the bags. This is literally bag work on this play from Darian Price. I've seen him do this bag work, and he literally does it and scores a touchdown. It was crazy watching in person. I just shook my head like, this is ridiculous, bro.
Got a wall of defenders. Great job by the O-line, literally creating a tunnel.
Yeah.
He uses his jump cut to get there, gets through the tunnel, big enough to break tackles, fast enough to run away. Guys are scared. Yeah. The safety 21 saw him down the tunnel and stopped his feet 8 yards away. It's not going to get the job done. It's not going to get the job
jump
done.
Cut left, then jump back out right.
Look at that wall. Look at that wall. Look at that wall. Look at that wall. You got to follow behind him because the wall's built. You can't go through it. You got to go behind the wall. You playing follow the leader.
Yeah.
21 saw this in clear daylight and shut his feet down. He said, I'm not closing the gap. Are you crazy? He's at full speed.
Yeah.
I got to get shoestrings. Look, it happened fast. 21 said, oh, shoot. when he was that afraid, he stopped 8 yards from Jadarian. He didn't close the gap. You're supposed to close the gap. Bob Sanders, he's in the tunnel. He on the other. That's Oklahoma drill. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is called Oklahoma drill. 21 stopped way back there. He didn't look. 21. You supposed to run down there.
He should have been he should have been waiting on him.
This is called grab ass. When your coach says stop grab assing, that is the still picture of grab assing right there because you didn't want to run down there. Look, what are you
There's
backing
21
up
right there.
The fact he was backing up, clear when we in pistol, turning around, handing it off, you backing up. He knew he had the plug somewhere down there and said, oh no. Oh no. See, good effort when you're 20 yards away. That's easy. But when that thing start opening up, he gaining speed. What? You could have swore Jadarian Price put a stop sign out there like, stop. Let me get through this.
Bro,
this brother
why?
No. He didn't. No. See, that's the difference between college and NFL. College, you're stopping because it's a business decision. The NIL isn't big enough at Boise State. Not only did you stop, you gave him a two-way go because you stopped. You said, which way you trying to go, left or right? 21 was scared. Scared. Just that picture alone. Oh, shoot. I'm the last line of defense. Oh, shoot. Maybe I got to play force. I should force. No, you should feel. You should feel. Don't force. Feel. He running right at you.
You know, the crazy thing is there's no way Jadarian can go to his right here. He can't.
No way.
So he should be expected.
You are getting paid. But this is where we talk about the Boise State coach said we had the players to do it. No, you didn't. This is a prime example of no, you did not have the players to do it because the players didn't want to do that one. The players didn't want to we didn't even finish the run. We just tried to show you that you were far away, Boise State coach. That wasn't no moment where we let go or missed or no. Far away.
He believed they had the horses, man.
Come on.
He believed they had the horses. I'm not mad at him. Coach Danielson, man, I told you I like him. He's a good dude. Lucky Lefty podcast. Before we get out of here, let's go through some of these predictions from everybody. 49-10 from Joe, 773 batters. Oscar Bravo, Golf Yankee, November. 42-24, Notre Dame. Black Rhino, 75. Notre Dame, 42. North Carolina State, 21. Ed 3. Oh, I asked the question, how does the fan base feel at 3-2? Ed 3 says he feels underwhelmed at 3-2. And Andre Tonsil, 56-14. J Love and Price both run for 100 plus.
It won't start feeling good. It won't start feeling good till you start seeing that 7-2, that 8 and
Yeah. I think Notre Dame, if they handle business, they're 2 weeks away from being in the top 10. 2 to 3 weeks away from being in the top 10.
Yeah, whenever other teams start playing each other, we just go.
So you got Indiana, Oregon play, Alabama, Missouri play tomorrow. Is the next 2 to 3 weeks? I mean, the South Carolina schedule the next 4 games is just.
That's what I'm saying. You're just going to witness why other media hates on Notre Dame because we're just going to be blowing teams out while these teams they've been gargling are just having the fight of their lives week to week. Fight of their life week to week. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, okay, what are you going to rank a team over us because of what? We're 7-2. You want to rank a team that lost back-to-back just because they played tough schedules? No. Give us what we deserve. Ohio State gets that pleasure. They beating up on Bethune-Cookman and Sinclair Community College and East Mesa High School, and they still number one. You got the other
right. Says 55-13. Go ahead, left finish up.
I was just saying, you got other teams scared of playing. The Minnesota dude didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to say about Jeremiah Smith. He said the dude, he just got it all. He's amazing. I said they finna get blown out.
That was before the game.
Yeah,
he's watching film like, man.
Embarrassing.
Man. Yeah, I feel you. Brian Hatton. Man, what is that? His avatar? Is that rice with the spinach on top and a steak?
Yeah.
With a balsamic vinaigrette drizzle or steak sauce drizzle?
Mm.
That looks good. Cajun Iris said, Sean, I've seen you talk. I saw that you seen you talk to Albert Simeon from Sam Houston. I'm going to see him live on November 7th versus my school. That's what's up. Big time kid that'll be on campus this weekend. Let's see.
I've been noticing you be showing real bias to Ohio recruits. I don't hear you talking too much about Ohio Notre Dame recruits.
Let me see. Let me check the list and see if they have any. Let's see. I mean, I can only talk about who they recruit. So, I mean, they got Jacoby Clapper in the 26 class.
I just pointed it out. I just pointed it out. That's all. I just making a point.
All right, so are you? Oh, Brian Hatton said that's duck in the picture. Oh, that's duck with a gask sauce. Okay. Brian, did you make that? Or is it a restaurant?
Oh, he made it if he said no, that's duck with the gas sauce.
I see. That's impressive. I got Gino. We were talking about Arizona having the Chicago frauds. They come on out here, SD, come do a live show with Malik so I can crash it too. I'll bring food. He also had another one, I believe I might have overlooked. He said he co-signed Chicago is in Arizona.
I told you. They making their way.
Oh, he said it's gastric sauce. Gastric sauce. What is a gastric sauce? A gastric sauce.
Well, wine and vinegar, probably.
It looks good. That's all I know. Every time I bring up his comments or his super chats, I always see the avatar. I'm like, man, that looks pretty good. And yeah, my mom's birthday is coming up next Thursday, so she has 3 parties, bro. 3 parties next week. The church is throwing her a party this Sunday. So I'm going to throw a church party next Sunday after service. And a wise woman said, never celebrate a woman's birthday after her birthday. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, man, even if you have to get her a piece of candy in a card just to acknowledge the birthday and then get her the bigger stuff afterwards. Just do it. And I said, okay.
Let me start looking up cakes now.
So we moved that to Sunday. And then we're taking her out, the immediate family, on Thursday, which is actually her birthday. And then next Sunday, we'll be having a family celebration with her brothers, her family members out at the house. So she gets 3 parties next week. 3.
Three parties.
So yeah, dude, she's on this Thai food kick too.
Like pad thai.
Yeah, dude.
The spice is
I,
it? Does she like the spice or something?
I don't know. She just, she's found a couple of places in Chicago she really loves, and when she has a very eclectic palate. My mom will try any. She'll try any cuisine. She'll try it. She'll
Not me.
try it.
Not me.
And I'm usually the one that's her road dog when it comes to restaurants. And so she'll say, "Sean, come on, I found this place." And I'm like, "What's the menu?"
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you'll like it." No. What's the menu?
You get real plain with them. No,
Yes,
just tell
yes,
me. I'm not.
yes. So, because
I'm not even playing around with it. No.
when I was fasting and I wasn't doing meats, she was like, "Yo, let's go eat here. They have this you can eat." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm not going anywhere to experiment because I'm not wasting my meal. Like, my meal has to count. Like, I need to know exactly what I'm going to eat when I fast. I'm turning down sweets. I'm turning down meat. I'm turning down all starches. Like, yo, no, I have to go somewhere where I know I'm going to enjoy what they have. If you want me to gamble on my meal?
Yeah,
No,
no
I
thanks.
can't do that. I can't do that. I love you, but I can't do that. We have to wait until this is over." So that's what we did. Let's see. No more. I think before you came on, Left, I covered all the recruits that are going to be visiting this weekend and heading into the USC weekend. Talked about feedback that he had. Unfortunately, there were no Ohio recruits to talk about. So we didn't talk about them.
Maybe it's a regional day. No day, just regional.
2027 defensive back Ace Austin out of Ohio, the Cincinnati area, is a big time recruit. Big time recruit.
The number one
in the 27 class.
27 class is in Marcus Freeman's high school.
Okay. Maybe he just doesn't have the grades. I don't know.
Marcus Freeman had the grades.
I will say this. I'll get a little bit more, hopefully, over the weekend. 4-star top 100 wide receiver Khalil Taylor decommitted from Penn State earlier today, and then he released a picture of his top 8, his original top 8, which had Notre Dame in it. He's a 27 kid. So hopefully I can get some more information from him this weekend to see if he's, going to be returning back to South Bend for a visit anytime soon. No, I don't have any word on Kenan Spell. Other than, that's a bad dude, bro. That's a bad dude. That's all I can say about that kid. That's a bad dude. There is a 27 tight end that I like a lot that Notre Dame has kind of jumped on. I'm sorry. My fault.
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure. But yeah. So I'll break down his film next week because I want to show his film.
Oh, yeah.
I want to show his film. Yeah, he's special, bro. He's special. That kid Jackson Dollar. Yeah. 2-sport athlete, 27 tight end. Special athlete. we'll get into him next week. We'll break down his film next week. Oh, you know what? Padawan Iris 22, you're darn right. I was a biggin. She pushed me through. I was the smallest kid or the smallest boy at birth. The smallest boy left, and I was 11'6". I was 11 pounds 6 ounces, and I was the smallest boy of the three at birth.
Oh my goodness.
My baby brother was 12'10", bro.
Damn.
12'10". So you're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. He is. She deserves all of it. All of it. She's an absolute angel. She's an absolute angel. Absolute angel. I need you to check out this, bro, before we go. So what do you think? If I were to ask you what it's like getting a signal in, like explain like getting a signal in, getting it into the huddle, getting it to everybody else, and then what is that like? Because you have short play calls, you have long play calls. What is that like?
A lot's going on, so you gotta have the ability to focus after a play to look over there and lock in to signals. Yeah. So, I'm asking for repeats and all type of stuff, but you just got to keep in mind of your pace and that you have a play clock. So you can look over there and get things lined up and then leave yourself some time to think. It's just a fast operation, but it's one of the things that you just get accustomed to. It's just hard to. It's funny to think about because it's not talked about, but that whole next play and getting the whole setup again in a short amount of time with all the things happening, it's a focus. So everybody has a different way of doing it. Now you got the microphones in the head and the helmets, which are cool, which is 10 million times easier than signals because you're over there getting signals, and then there's guys that are there giving fake signals. So you got to find the right guy. And then, people get real creative. So it's just one of those things. Fortunately, we were good enough to where, even if the signals were able to be caught by the other team, it didn't matter,
So I want you to check this out. This is a conversation by, in my opinion, the greatest backup quarterback in the history of the NFL, not because of his play, but because of the money he made not doing a darn thing. He chose the right positions. But he was talking about what it's like in the NFL with the audio in your ear and what takes place. Check it out, Lev.
Quarterback actually in his helmet during a game, it's kind of like this.
All right, Dak, it's 1st and 10. Here's the score. It's 34-30. We need a touchdown. You cannot get in field range. We only have one timeout, all right? Great return by Turpin. Here we go. Good. Z motion 300 jet line. That's Lucy. Hey, make sure you get George making this ball. He's balling, okay? Make sure you motion him over. Make sure he's set. They've been blitzing a lot. Make sure you understand. Hey, make sure you understand they're going to cover 2, all right? Alert your pressure here. Your hot route is to your left. It's Turpin in the slot. No sacks. You cannot do any sacks. Here we go.
See what he's going to do here. All right, you got to work right. The slant. Oh, no, they went tricky too. Get on the ball, Dak. Get on the ball. That might be a backwards pass.
Hey, Dak, you got to be careful there.
Next play. Shotty, next play. Come on, forget about it. You got plenty of time. Relax. All right, here we go. All right, boys. Gun, double right off. 3-jet double go, Y starburst. Hey, we're going to alert it 74 protection if they end up pressuring. Hey. Listen. Slot, Colbert. If they go tricky too, we're going to hit you down the middle. Ready, break. Here we go. Here we go. Mike this guy. Hut. Oh, no. We had it. It's all right. It's all right. All right, on the ball. Hurry. Get the cash. Get lined up. Hurry up. Hut. Nice. Come on, we're on the ball. Get set. Hey, special. Hey, Pickens, out route. Do an out. Let's go.
Dude, now, I don't know. That's a whole lot, bro. Like, because in my mind as a fan, I'm thinking those systems are used. And would you like to see it used more in college football? Because, Notre Dame still does it. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
okay. Would you like to see it on the high school level?
Yes.
Okay.
The way I run plays and stuff, but
okay,
it's much more comfortable in that sort of chaos, even though it sounds crazy. It's much more comforting for a quarterback to, because you're really listening for certain things. You ain't listening to everything. So you're listening for, a cover 2 here down the pipe, or you got alert something, or make sure this. It's like, I guess that's the beauty of it. You can be able to take what you need from a bunch of crazy stuff and then go and execute. It's a lot easier that way, in my opinion, than doing signals, because signals, you don't know what they're trying to tell you, because every play is communication on things people see that you may not see, that you need to be alert of, or whatever, because they game plan just as much as you do. So they throw you a signal and they may want to tell you something about the play, but that's all you got is a signal. So you out there freestyling, especially if you're not as locked in, you know what I mean? If you just, that's why I guess they invented the whole look at me thing, is because there's so much you want to add on in case they show a different look that they got to check with me. But when you locked in, it's like, okay, you can get a better sense of what you're doing when you got the mic, because it's just you and your coach. And you guys talk like that off the field, in practice, in the meeting rooms, on the phone. So it's not as chaotic as it sounds for the first time. It's like, how he talks. So, it's a relationship, man. It's really a relationship. But it goes back to why doing it in 1 year when you're coming off of somewhere else, and just why it's so hard where you just can't go in there and just play great, even for good players. Because think about that. What if Riley was dealing with that the first 5 games last year? Probably explain why he looked so bad. Because you just can't make it up, man. You can't fake knowing how to do something just because you did good somewhere else. You know what I mean? It takes time, relationship. Things got to work out the right way at the right time. But, it's good to see. Yeah.
Any lasting comments before we get out of here?
Notre Dame put up 56, man. That's the goal. Put up 56 is about how we win. Yes, sir.
One more from Eric Spadell. Well, fella, next week will tell us all we need to know about Chris. Have a good weekend. Eric, I disagree, man. This is the one thing. Can we stop saying USC will tell? They won't. They won't. USC stinks. That game does not tell us anything about Chris Ash's defense. It doesn't. It doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't tell us anything, man. People have, we're gonna see what they don't run, they can't run the ball. They got two great receivers and a quarterback, and their offensive line is bad. What is it gonna tell us about Notre Dame's defense? Nothing. Because if Notre Dame's defense comes out and tackles, doesn't miss tackles, and plays the way they need to play, meaning, wait a minute, Chris Ash has made, we've watched the film the last 3 weeks. Chris Ash is still making questionable play calls. Is he not, Left? Is he not?
Yeah.
Notre Dame players started making plays. Literally, that's what changed. That's what changed. They stopped missing tackles. If they didn't miss tackles against Miami, Miami probably scored 17 points. If they didn't miss tackles. If they were aggressive and made plays on the ball against Miami, Miami probably scored 17 points. It's not what Chris Ash calls. We are really, I'm going to be honest, as much as no, Eric, it's all good. It just made me think about something. I said this before you hopped on, Left. And I'm passionate about this, right? And Eric really sparked this. I'm glad he said what he said. Every game moving forward would be determined not by the opponent, but by which Notre Dame team shows up. It's not even about the opponent. It's about whether or not C level Notre Dame shows up, C plus level, B level Notre Dame. Because if Notre Dame plays a B level game against the rest of this schedule, they're blowing everybody out. They're blowing everybody out. They played a C plus game last week and won by 21.
Yeah.
If Notre Dame plays an A game, come on, man. If they play an A game, so USC is not a litmus test for which Notre Dame team shows up. Like a true litmus test for me would be Notre Dame facing Oregon,
Right.
Facing Ohio State, facing I would say facing Miami again, facing I want to say Alabama because they have a really advanced passing attack and a really good quarterback, but they can't run the ball, so they're one-dimensional. That's why they're on upset alert tomorrow against Bo Prabula and Missouri, in my opinion, who have the number one running back in the nation. They have balance. They could do damage against Alabama. I just don't know if Alabama can challenge Notre Dame. You just can't come out and say, okay, we're going to just move the ball up and down the field against Notre Dame throwing the ball.
Right.
Even as bad as Notre Dame's offense, as bad as their defense has been against the pass, leading up to the last 3 games, you have to. Miami was able to be balanced and keep Notre Dame on their heels and to make plays, big plays in the passing game and play action. That's really how you have to go after this team. Texas A&M, Notre Dame was just, dude, that might be some of the worst defensive film I've seen. Play calling was bad. Execution was bad. Coverage was bad. No pass rush. Everything was just bad. And I don't think you're going to see that type of performance out of this Notre Dame defense moving forward. That's why I don't really look at, by the numbers, USC is dude, they got 2 NFL, two wide receivers that would probably be taken in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. They have a youngster that's the 3rd receiver that's definitely, Tanuk Hines is definitely going to be taken day 1, day 2. Offensive line is still bad. Elijah Page, who was committed to Notre Dame before he decommitted and committed to USC, their starting right tackle, he's hurt. They have injuries on the defensive line, and the defensive line was already sketchy. I I just don't see it, man. I don't see. And I think Notre Dame has USC on their list, their season bucket list. I think they say they're not putting up 35 points against us again. I think the kids that were there in the Coliseum that allowed 35 points, I think they're going to take it personal. And I think they're going to play a big time game against USC. I don't see USC putting up 35. I'm not on the field, so I don't control it. I just don't see it. That's why I say I don't think they're going to be much of a litmus test. I just don't, man. I was worried more about. No, that's going too far. Is there anybody that scares you, Left? That's really what I was going to say. Is there anybody on the schedule that
No,
scares
man,
you?
I'm not going to build anybody up as a boogeyman when if they're especially not a playoff team and the two teams that might make the playoffs that we lost to, I just believe we'll face them in a better lighting and standing if we win against them again. And with Miami being the second best team, I don't see us being far behind them.
So we appreciate it, Eric. Eric, man, you can say whatever you want to say, bro. We rock with you. You support us all the time.
That's right.
And and it really wasn't even about Eric and what he said. It just sparked something I had been seeing on the message boards and stuff, like USC, USC. And I'm like, I think the Illinois fan in me was like, no, we just smacked them up. Like, stop talking about them. Like, Michigan is going to smack. I think Michigan is about to run all over them tomorrow. That's my opinion. Out at the Coliseum. I think Michigan is about to go out there and smack them up. Let me get your opinion on something real quick, Left. I had this thought. I was watching Ohio State, and I said, man, NIL has really benefited programs that they use it correctly. Because their defensive line, all their young defensive linemen got an extra year of development. Because in normal years, when they had first rounders on their defensive line, they were going to be drafted in the first round. Without NIL, those first rounders don't come back. Those guys came back and they got another year of development behind those guys. So now when it was their time, they hit the ground running. Kenyatta Jackson, Curry, dominated. And so NIL is not so much about how you can acquire, who can you retain to allow your youngsters to really develop so they're not put out there before their time. I think that's something to watch moving forward.
I mean, we did it with the quarterback room. I mean, apparently, because if CJ's this good, then he should have been playing last year unless we, wanted to do exactly what you said, let him develop and while the other pieces fill in. And I think that's a really standing point that you can have with Notre Dame's football program because, most guys that go there aren't necessarily chasing dollars. And they understand that there's a waiting process, in a sense, when getting on the field. So that allows you to be able to build a receiver room from within with core guys and then add your transfers here and there until you're ready to mix them in and then let them be who they are. And so fortunately, we've had to only do that with the receivers, really, and the pieces on defense, but and the quarterback position. We haven't had to do it for running backs or tight ends because it's been really our core. But it's good to see a way of retaining guys through development. Isaiah Foskey was one of the first, especially since he didn't leave, and I don't know how much NIL impacted it, but he developed another year. So I think that's important to acknowledge.
Yeah, man. I just want to say, retain your guys.
Yeah.
Retaining your guys has become, because the college life now, I'm sure Left will tell you. I'm sure Will will tell you. I wish, man, we got to get Will on the show. I guarantee you, if we ask Will Fuller, like Will, if you had 10 mil, 8 to 10 mil to come back, would you have come back to college?
Facts.
I guarantee you, Will would have been like, probably so.
Yeah, Will got some good money, man. Shout out to Will.
Eric said, yeah, that makes sense about Ohio State, bro. Like you always say, sit back and let these players marinate while they develop. I mean, it is really, because I said, well, until we showed that film today, I was like, man, maybe Notre Dame goes to the portal. But seeing Micah Gilbert run like that on that play, I think Micah Gilbert might be ready. I think going to get Malachi Fields gave him another year to sit and marinate, and he'll be ready to be the dude next year. That's what I'm talking about. Either using NIL to keep your guys or using the portal to allow your youngsters to properly develop. And Notre Dame has done a good job mixing in the portal and development. They've done a good job. I can't say how they really haven't gone out and gotten an impact guy on the defensive line, like an impact pass rusher, like a Jared Verse or somebody like that. Fisk, who they were in on before he eventually committed to Florida State. But yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. Hey, we appreciate everybody. Shout out to everybody that congratulated us for going over 5K on our subscribers. As you can see, you go to luckylefty.com to spend a different hoodie. You know what I mean?
It's clean. It's clean.
That's clean, bro. That's clean. Yeah. And the back, if I could show the back.
Ooh, yeah. Stamp because it's certified. Stamp because it's certified.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stamp it.
Go get y'all one of those.
Trademark, baby. Stamp, trademark. Lucky Lefty. Spin it different. All right. As always, we thank you guys for tapping in, man. Late start today. But you guys support us, man. And for that, we greatly appreciate you. And we grind it out for you in the midst of everything we have to do. We grind it out for you to talk Notre Dame football. And as always, enjoy your Friday evening. Cubs Brewers, Game 5. The Monday night left is going to be crazy in Chicago if the Cubs win, because that means the Cubs will be in LA playing the Dodgers at the same time that the Bears are playing the Commanders on Monday Night Football. Yes. If it goes the way I think it will go, it's going to be a lot of sad Chicago fans on Monday night. I fully expect the Dodgers to handle business.
Oh, team, don't say that about your team, man.
Hey, bro, the way the Dodgers won that series yesterday, the way they won that series yesterday, you just feel like, okay, they beat the Phillies, and Ohtani was 1 for 21 in the series. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. They beat them without their best player doing the darn thing. Hey, enjoy your weekends, man. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Always make sure you spend it different.